So when I was 18 years old, I started losing most of my hair. Every day I would find more and more hair on my pillow, until one day I finally saw my scalp. And that is when I realized I'm losing my hair. It was time to do something about it. Why not at least give these products that I find on the internet a chance? And so I did. Here I am 8 years later, still having hair on my head. Now I do not have the best hairline, but I managed to grow a lot of my hair back. And that is when I found this product named Minoxidil, in this case Rogaine. This is the results right here that you can see in front of you of utilizing these products for only 3 months. Recently I made a video, and in this video in particular I had hundreds of comments about the negative side effect of Minoxidil. So in this video today I will tell you everything that you need to know. I will tell you who it's for, who should not use Minoxidil, and if you're already utilizing Minoxidil, how you can best optimize your use and get the most out of this product. But before we actually dive into all the myths about Minoxidil, let's just clarify something out. What actually is Minoxidil? Well, Minoxidil is an FDA approved treatment that works by stimulating blood circulation to the hair follicle and therefore promoting more hair and more growth to your hair. But you might ask yourself, why can't I just massage my head and get the same outcome? Well, Minoxidil works by increasing something called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. It actually works by opening up the blood vessel to the hair follicle. ATP works like this. Imagine you have blood circulating through a channel, a small channel like this. And when you're massaging your head, you're getting more blood circulating through this small channel. However, when you start utilizing Minoxidil, this channel becomes bigger. And that is pretty much how ATP works. Once you start opening up these potassium channels, the blood vessels becomes bigger. And therefore you can promote way more blood flow to the hair follicle. And that is pretty much how Minoxidil works. So you can get more blood flow to the hair follicle. However, massaging your head is obviously a very good thing that you can do and you should do on a regular basis as well. There's so many myths about Minoxidil, and some of the myths got me scared when I first started thinking about taking the product Minoxidil. One of them is DHT. Will it affect my testosterone? Will it affect my libido? Answer to that is no. Minoxidil does not affect your libido or testosterone in any way or form whatsoever. It's getting confused in today's society with things like Finasteride, HairTips, and sometimes even saw palmetto. I do think that you can get great benefits of just utilizing Minoxidil by itself, but Minoxidil by itself does not prevent balding. It will not prevent you from losing your hair. Minoxidil, however, works by making sure that you're getting more hair and thicker hair. So if you're, for instance, suffering from androgenic alopecia, perhaps implementing a DHT blocker before implementing Minoxidil is the way to go. Myself, I implemented Minoxidil even before I started taking Finasteride. And yes, I saw a huge amount of benefits from this. So I do think that you can have Minoxidil even though you do not have a DHT inhibitor. Will Minoxidil cause major side effects? Yes, there are people that will experience side effects, and this is completely normal. If you take anything, you will get a form of side effects from it. And in my personal experience, I actually have experienced almost no side effects whatsoever. The only side effects that I actually experienced was an extremely itchy scalp, sometimes when I was taking this product. But this is something that I actually think is good. I see it pretty much like going for a workout. Every single time I go for a workout and I feel sore, I felt like something actually happened. And every single time my hair is itching, I know that something is going on. The second side effect that I have experienced is a lot of dandruff. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Side effect that you can deal with utilizing ketoconical shampoos, and they work great. And sometimes I don't get any dandruff whatsoever. The best side effects from utilizing Minoxidil has been obviously way more hair on my head. Now, if you're already utilizing Minoxidil or you're thinking about starting utilizing Minoxidil, this is the best way that I have found after 8 years of utilizing the product to maximize my results of utilizing Minoxidil. So the standard recommended dose of utilizing Minoxidil is to use it 2 times a day at 1 milliliter. That is what they recommend. However, myself, I'm only using 1 milliliter a day. I apply it at night before I go to bed because I don't really like the look of it in the morning, and therefore I only use it once. And I found it to be as effective as utilizing 2 milliliters a day, and therefore he'll save so much more money and the product itself by utilizing 1 milliliter a day. Minoxidil comes in different ways. It comes in oral minoxidil, which I have not tried. I have seen some studies which I find to be very skeptical, and therefore I will not use oral minoxidil until things are clarified. And most of the time it needs to be prescribed by a doctor. The other ways you can use this is through a liquid, a foam, or a spray. Me personally, I have tried them all, and I think that the spray is the best one. The reason why I think the spray is the best one is because it's so easy to really get it to the scalp itself. So this is how I do it. Every single night I position my head under very bright light so you can see the scalp. And then I utilize the spray it, and that way I make sure it's well allocated on the areas that I'm currently losing the hair. Then I rub it in, either utilizing my fingers or a scalp massager. However, this is a major thing as well that I noticed when I went to Thailand. I bought this product. It said that it was Minoxidil, and I thought to myself, well, this brand is pretty cheap, let's buy it, let's give it a crack. And I used it. I used it for 2 months. And after 2 months, I started seeing my hair falling off, and I started getting a bit skeptical. And then I thought, you know what this is? This is the thinning. The thinning is normal. You will lose hair when you start utilizing minoxidil. I say that again, you will lose hair, but that hair that is falling off is weak and bad hair, and then later you will get stronger hair. However, I was utilizing this product, my hair was just falling off my head day in and day out for 2 months, and then 3 months, and then 4 months, and then 5 months, and I then realized that the product had gone bad. So you need to store the product in a very cool and dry environment. I recommend you storing it actually in the fridge, because the product that had been stored in Thailand has been in a very humid location, and therefore it had lost its effect, and I was most likely just putting alcohol on my head, pretty much just losing my hair for 5 months. So keep that in mind. You need to store the product in a very cool and dry environment, ideally not in a bathroom where it can be very humid. But who is minoxidil actually for? Well, minoxidil is for anyone who wants to have thicker and more hair on their head. You can take minoxidil obviously if you're a female as well, and you don't necessarily need to take the 2% solution. You can take the 5% solution. However, just keep in mind that minoxidil will affect blood pressure, so if you're already taking a blood pressure medication, most likely you're not a good candidate to take minoxidil. And if you're suffering from any form of heart conditions, contact a doctor. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a personal trainer and nutritionist that likes to keep his hair on his head. I have experience with minoxidil, and minoxidil is not for anyone who's pregnant or breastfeeding. How can you actually get the most out of your use of minoxidil? And this is the best practice that I found myself after utilizing it for so many years. So firstly, obviously use the spray, use it once a day. Secondly, position your head always under very, very bright lights. Thirdly, try to utilize ideally a scalp massager to get it evenly distributed rather than utilizing your fingers. And the most important of them all is to utilize a combination of a Derma stamp, Derma pen, since they will come in at a straight angle rather than coming in at an awkward angle. The rollers, we have seen in studies that they can potentially damage the scalp by coming in at an angle that is not ideal, and therefore Derma stamp, Derma pen seem to be the better options. Now, how this actually works is that when we're creating small holes in our head, we're creating small micro channels. And it's pretty much like irrigating a lawn. It's then easier to put the fertilizer on the lawn in order for it to grow. Now, this works the same way. By making these small micro channels in your scalp, you will make it easier for minoxidil to then penetrate the scalp. That way you can utilize the full benefits of minoxidil because you will actually get into the scalp. And this is when we have seen in other studies that the result has been 4 times better just by implementing microneedling in combination with minoxidil. And me myself, I microneedle once a week, and sometimes I don't microneedle and I will just apply minoxidil by itself, but if I can, I do. And when I microneedle, I tend to not utilize minoxidil the same day. Now, I have tried it, obviously. I find that actually utilizing minoxidil the day after seems to be better, because sometimes I make too much damage to my scalp and I don't really want to irritate my scalp even further. Keep in mind, you need kind of to embrace the process. This is something that's gonna take a long time. Most of the results we will see after 3 to 6 months. 3 months is pretty much what it took for myself to see the results. And that was only because I had taken good before and after pictures. If I didn't do that, I most likely wouldn't have seen the big change that had occurred. A lot of you must be wondering, what actually happens if you stop utilizing minoxidil? Will you lose your hair again? And do you have to take this every single day? And the answer to that question is yes, if you stop utilizing the product, you will lose the benefits of it. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to use it every single day. No, you can do it in intervals if you want. They recommend you to use it 2 times a day, every single day. However, I think this is pretty much the company that just wants you to spend their money and to buy more of their products, where I have seen the same results as utilizing it 1 milliliter once a day, and every now and then even skipped minoxidil, but we always want to be consistent with these things. So whatever this video helped you or not, just keep in mind that it is a long-term solution. But I do think the product works. It's been working now for me for years. And as always, since I'm not a hair doctor, all the studies of this video will be in the description down below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.